Ernest Shackleton had joined the Merchant Navy when he was as young as 16 and spent his whole life obsessing over exploration and adventure. By 1907, he was already leading Arctic explorations, exploring the South Pole, and he ended up being rewarded with a knighthood in the process. In 1914, Shackleton decided to attempt what he called, quote, the last great Arctic challenge. A voyage to cross the Antarctic from one side to the other, from the Weddell Sea to the Ross Sea. Now, I'm not a geographer, but in layman's terms, this was like launching an expedition into shoving a fork into the toaster.
Right.
You're most likely gonna die.
It is a suicide mission.
Now, the ride was always gonna be a bumpy one. They knew that. But in January 1915, things went from a shitstorm to a snowstorm. The temperatures had dropped so fast that the boat was barely even in water anymore. It was just pushing its way through huge ice sheets that were sealing around the boat as fast as they were broken. The boat slowed down until they were dead, stuck in the water. If I was one of the crew members at this point, I would be livid. I would be going up to Shackleton and being like, well, there you go, bud. What the f*** do you think was gonna happen? You steered us into ice. I hope that cat's gonna keep you warm, cause in 3 days, we're eating him. There's no food left.
And in 4 days, I'm eating you.
If this captain was trying to push the boundaries, invited a photographer and an artist to presumably kind of paint him standing at the front of the ship looking out heroically, and the first thing they do is get stuck in ice.
You know, I've made mistakes on the job before. You know, I might have sent an email to a colleague, and I damn near CC'd the wrong manager. You know, and they caught a conversation that I didn't want them to see. That's an awkward little lunch break in the office. But my colleague saying, we have to turn back or else we'll be frozen and we'll die in this icy tomb thousands of miles from our loved ones. And then I don't turn back and get us frozen there. It's more than just an awkward lunch break.
Yeah.
It's actually an awkward 9 months until summer, and then the heat of the sun might just be enough to thaw the ice enough for the boat to become unstuck.
Yeah, it's going to be an awkward conversation below deck with the men. Yeah. That all hands in the evening where it's like, I just want to clear the air, guys, because I feel like there's some kind of resentment, undeserved, towards the captain here. And I want to remind you that while we are on land, we're still technically on the boat, which means I'm still technically the captain. There's someone already just coming up behind him with a rope. I think it's really respectful that you guys are taking this so well, and I appreciate you guys standing by me. Grab him.
Yeah, he calls an all hands, complete silence in the room. Mistakes! We all make them. We all make them. You know when Jimmy cooked lunch yesterday, and he put sugar in the stew instead of salt, I didn't say anything. Because I know we all make mistakes.
This is him rope tied to a cannonball in front of everyone. It's like, I actually think it would be really big of you guys to change your mind. I think that would show growth and maturity. The cat just walks over and shoves him off. Mrs. Chippy, no! Do you remember the time that I smoked all that weed? And then when I came to, I'd drawn a picture of a hat that could keep sandwiches cold?
Right.
That's an idea from another fucking planet. That's an idea that no human could mentally conceive. The thought of a sandwich being kept cold by a hat is so fucking fucked up. It's so wild and unhinged that it must have been beamed into me.
The fucked up thing is, like, you must have just watched Paddington, because Paddington Bear is the only person in history, in media, who famously keeps a sandwich in his hat.
I haven't seen any of the movies.
So it's impossible that I would have seen the movie and come up with it.
It's impossible. Fuck, you're saying fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell, but I just thought that was my own idea that I had come up with.
I don't think his marmalade sandwich is kept cold up there.
Yeah.
So that is a new twist on the idea.
I've never seen either of the Paddington movies.
Off.
So this is probably why I'm saying this, but I hate that little bear.
What? Why?
I want to beat the shit out of him.
Why?
He annoys me so much.
You haven't seen the movie. How would you know?
His little face, His stupid little face.
He's a bear.
He just drives me nuts.
You know, he is a little bit of a posh prick, you know.
Yeah.
But he is pretty lovable when you watch the movies.
You know what bear I respect? Cocaine bear. That's a bear on the edge, living life, doing what he wants. I don't want a little Tory bear to come lecture me about friendship and sandwiches, all right? The hat was my idea, you little fucker.
All right.
I'm so
It shouldn't be a problem for you. How long are you trying to keep this? There's coolers. Get a cooler.
The hat is a cooler. You plug it in.
It's got to be heavy. It's got to be heavy.
Well, I haven't properly worked out the blueprints yet and the schematics. And I'm having a little trouble finding people to wear the hat because the prototype borderline broke a dude's neck.
It's a mini fridge with a visor.
I duct taped a mini fridge to a football helmet and said it was a hat.